In this video, you will learn how to make static content for your high-end brand, generating a guaranteed 5x ROAS, without having to use any cheap sales tactics or harming your brand for some quick profits. I'll walk you through the exact step-by-step process we use at Esygn to create high-performing static content for our clients, showcasing and breaking down the top 5 best-performing statics and creative angles that we use for Esygn, The Grey, and Salatin, 3 of our best brands. Let's dive straight in. Before we actually start the creative design process, there are a few very important steps that we need to do first. So we always, at the start of the collaboration with a new client, with a new brand, we send them a big onboarding form, slash questionnaire. Basically, in this form, we ask all the questions we could have about their business, the pain points that their clients might have, the solution their product brings, the emotion it kind of evokes. This is a very important step for us to figure out what the right copy and headline would be, as the copy and headline is as important as the creative itself, because this is what will actually hook the people. So we always want to create a few different angles before we put it on there. We don't just want to chuck something on there. We really want to think about what it is their clients might need and how to kind of combine it within their aesthetic language, within their branding language. So the angles that we see work best generally are press articles, these customer reviews, pain points, solution, and emotion. These are by far the strongest angles that we can use when working with high-end brands and also when speaking to a customer. So, for example, when you work with a skincare brand, pain points can be a very big one. And so you kind of combine the pain points and the solutions and the press articles. Actually, for this skincare brand, just for men, The Grey it's called, we use all the angles that you can see here. For Esygn, it's a perfume brand. We actually only use the emotion angle. Why? Is because we actually tested all of them. We tested the press articles, the customer reviews, the pain point solution, everything. But we just noticed that really going into the erotic literature from Esygn just works the best, as their customer base is a very new brand and their customer base is very much attracted by erotic literature, submersive scents. It's really about this personage, and buying the fragrance, buying Esygn, really turns you into this personage. It gives you this feeling. Fragrances are a very much feeling-based product. That's why we generally want to play most into the emotion instead of all these other things. I think press articles and customer reviews here can also still work very well. We have tested them, but for now we mainly go into emotions, as these are the best creatives for Esygn right now that have been performing for 5-6 months straight. So we can very confidently say these are the best ones. But basically what we do here is we just take some figures in the literary eroticism, quite hard word sometimes to pronounce, but into the literary eroticism world. This is a very big personage in there, and just kind of combining the product with very great imagery. Sometimes we don't even use products. We just try to get the right setting and then put some text on top of that in a well-designed manner, because we basically just want to have the click. We want to have a very cheap cost per click and a really high click-through rate. That's kind of the goal within these advertisements. These are more advertisements that you run with your video content, which makes it so strong. It kind of makes the longevity of all the content way better, and also it's really good for your brand and for your and it's very much brand enhancing, as it looks so nice. So we kind of find a way doing this by having content that looks great, that actually performs well and increases the performance of all the other ads and these ads on itself in the same time. So for The Grey, we actually did a bit broader strategy. We're doing it for them now, I think around 2 years, and we really tested everything there. One of the main angles and one of the main things that works best is kind of, we get like a press article, so we get a little bit of validation from the press here with GQ, as you can see here, for the best shampoo for thinning hair. it's like it's super strong one. You immediately know, okay, well, they must be legit. So we like to put this little logo and banner here. And then it's just best shampoo for thinning hair, stimulates, cleanses. It's a very positive approach and really shows the benefits of the product. Here we also have a few ads that are just reviews. So Luke, for example, says it makes my skin super bouncy and gives a natural glow. This is for the recovery face serum. We really have a very broad way of showing advertisements for the gray, as there are just a few products that work best. And we notice that the more products we take, the easier for us it is to scale, as there's interest for multiple things, for multiple products. So actually, they also have self-tanning serum, and for the self-tanning serum, we very clearly also take the pain points. And we really take the things that people generally don't like about these serums, and that's kind of what we solve. So it is the best self-tanning serum for men. They're actually voted like that. They're a very strong brand, so we have a lot of recognition in that sense. That's why we also use these angles, but we immediately point out the negative. Generally, in advertising, saying negative things work better than positive stuff. As everyone has heard the positive stuff a million times, but the feeling of pain is just so much stronger than the feeling of happiness. So that's why we generally really like to emphasize kind of the pain that it solves. So no stains, no orange look, just a natural glow and healthier skin. It's very, we did it with a lot of thought in mind to start with the pain and then kind of show what it turns into, to really kind of build this little journey and make them understand, okay, it actually solves my pain. So what we just do is we basically take a picture of the product or part of the product. We generally really like to show the serum or the shampoo or anything related to the product, as it just gets better clicks, it's more profitable, a lot of different reasons. We just see it works best. So here again, we just have the product. It's not even that crazy or fancy, and it's just basically very strong copy. So that's what we do here. Also, you can see we list some articles and magazines that the gray has been mentioned in. Then we really focus on the negative, actually, what it solves. And here, just a big one, healthier skin in a few drops. It's like super easy, just a few drops. You don't have this anymore. And we're supported by all these amazing articles, which makes it super legit and very trustworthy. And that's why this is another creative that works super well. The gray actually uses a lot of very high quality studio content, and generally it looks amazing, but it doesn't work that well in advertisements. And we kind of trying to find the balance between having this amazing content and making it look great while also being able to perform. That's a very difficult thing a lot of the brands that we work with struggle with. So they have this beautiful content, they have these beautiful things, but they just can't really manage to make it work. And generally, video content is still the piece of content that works the best, but having this static ad content that is actually optimized for advertisements without sort of compromising on your branding, we've noticed that this can be such a strong addition to your advertising strategy, and that's why we just love to use it. And that's why you should also use it yourself for your brand, as it's just so strong. Here again, also, we really like to highlight these magazine articles. For Celadon, this is a luxury oral care brand. We actually have a slightly different approach, as they are super, super difficult in terms of what they like and what they don't like in their branding. We have very limited options to test and to try out. But still, having said that, we do manage to make it work with the aesthetics, and also especially a lot with video content. But for Celadon, they actually don't like customer reviews. They were like, oh, we don't want this. No matter how great it works, they're like, no, we think this is stronger, the press articles. But yeah, so they're just kind of a little bit difficult with that. So we just try to make it work best with these press articles here. We also don't really go into the pain points that much, as they want to stay very positive, which is not always great for advertising. But again, we just kind of try to make it work and work with them. So we really try to focus again on the emotion and on the press articles. One thing that works super well with them is not even showing the product, but it's just kind of making a quote from a press article. As you can see here we actually didn't mention the press article, but here, so sorry, I made this line, it was a bit weird. But actually here within the press article, we just have a nice background with this article on there. Here again with another nice quote, and also high stability, as this is where it's mentioned in. So this is just super basic. Here it's again showing the toothpaste. Always works so much better when you can see the product. It's crazy how that works. But yeah, here again, it's just a nice quote from Highsnobiety. And here we also have another one. We've actually tested a few different angles. Rick Owens, it's a famous designer. A lot of people know them. A lot of the clients and clientele of Selatin really like him. So we try to use him in the ads also as much as possible. We don't even show him here right now. We just kind of show one of the products. And we've actually tested, I think, 5 different angles regarding this. And the one that says, I've been using Selatin lately, Rick Owens, just works the best. Don't ask me why, it's super strange. We will also have a few that was like Rick Owens' favorite toothpaste brand and just different angles like that. But for some reason, this just works the best. So these were very much article and press related. And this one is more focused on showcasing the product and really showcasing what's so amazing about the product. So about the emotion. Here it's so tasty you want to eat it. One of their really cool things, or one of the really cool things about Selatin, is that they have super tasty toothpaste. It's actually crazy that when you brush your teeth, it's just like you're eating something while your mouth is getting fresh. It's like super nice, very tasty. And that's one of the big main points of Selatin, what's so great. So we really try to highlight it in a subtle way. Generally, we like this text to be a little bit bigger. But again, they are very strict with their branding and guidelines. So this is how it turned out. People actually seem to really like it. Same with this glove. They recently had to shoot for their mouth spray. Very low average order value product, but still people really loved the way that this leather glove that was kind of white edited outlooks. So we don't even really say anything of press. We don't even say about how tasty it is or whatever. It's just the product and then the glove, which for some reason gets really good click-through rates and very good cost per clicks. But like I said, these are just all different things that you need to test. And having this way of kind of repurposing your shoot content that generally is not made for advertising into something that people love to click on and really makes them curious is just such a strong and cost-effective way to expand your advertising strategy. So that's one of the major things that we do for our clients actually, and it's just working so well. Even though here for Selatin, we don't even go into these 5 angles that much. It's still a very strong way of improving your advertising strategy, your return on ad spend, everything basically. So in general, always when we add some statics and some creatives that are low cost to make, look great, but are still very much advertising-like, we just see that the longevity of our content lasts way longer. It's easier to create, so if things don't work, it's easy to make new content. And also our ROAS just goes up. And at the end of the day, it's super important because we all want to make money. So we found this really amazing way of repurposing shoot content, adding amazing angles to it, giving a lot of social proof, a lot of showcasing of kind of how much customers like it. And then at the same way, just keeping it very much on brand and very emotional. So I highly suggest and recommend to also go through this process when creating angles for your own brand or for your client's brand if you're running an agency, because it's just so strong. It's such a strong addition to your advertising strategy, and you just can't miss out on it. Generally, people do this super salesy, but you can also do it in a less salesy way while still getting these amazing results. So again, you just can't miss out on this super cheap opportunity of creating content while having it on brand, while having amazing performance. It's just basically no-brainer if you ask me. So yeah, now you should know everything about how to create static content for your high-end brand. And thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.